Where you look, where you touch, where you feel, yeah. Where you look, where you touch, where you feel, yeah. Yeah. Can we talk about me and you? Can we talk about the truth? I wanna know, I wanna know. Can we talk about me and you? Can we talk about me and you? Can we talk about the truth? I wanna know, I wanna know. Can we talk about me and you? Can we talk about the truth? I wanna know, I wanna know. Can we talk about me and you? Can we talk about me and you? Can we talk about the truth? I wanna know, I wanna know. Can we talk about me and you? Where you look, where you touch, where you feel, yeah. Where you look, where you touch, where you feel, yeah. Where you look, where you touch, where you feel, yeah. Where you look, where you touch, where you feel, yeah.
You said that you've been lonely, makes you cold as ice. Hard to get to know me, but better than the lights. No way I'd let you slip by. No way I'd let you say bye. You said there ain't no reason, but I'll sit here every day, waiting for the moment I won't feel like I should stay. No way to be patient, but running out of time. No way I'd let you slip by. No way I'd let you say bye. You said there ain't no meaning, I just wanna understand everything that led us here, the teardrops when I hold your hand. No way I'd let you slip by. No way.
Okay, hopefully the audio is actually working. Looks like it is. Okay, hopefully it is. Hopefully things aren't blasting. I'm gonna not try to touch the audio too much today. It was a bit quiet the other day. So, I did actually end up spending a bit of money. When I was in the other day, I was in Western Carana, and I actually ended up buying 2 items. They were 150 plat. One was the Smoldering brand, which I have to be honest, I might switch out because it kind of feels like I'm cheating a little bit now. Kind of going against what the idea of the videos were, the stream was supposed to be. It feels pretty overpowered. I paid 100 plat for it. I've been farming lightstones and greater lightstones and basically just vendoring them. Nobody seems to want to buy them. I'm gonna vendor them. I can't turn them in for experience. And lightstones. These are moonstones. I'm hoping I'm gonna be able to actually turn them in somehow. As well as farming an ungodly amount of knoll teeth. And the other item I bought was that's not the right button. Cracked Darkwood Shield, and that was 50 plat. So it acts as a light source as well, which is great. I don't have to keep greater lightstone in one of these, so if I want to put a bag, gives me a little bit more strength. This is not so bad. I can actually smash. This was the first item that I actually bought. Somebody was selling I should say, sold me one. I just said I wanted to buy a magic shield, and somebody said they had one in the bank. And then I met them in the bank. Well, I met them by the Bard Guild and paid 50 plat for it. And the Smoldering brand was, somebody just had one and they were selling it, and I just decided to purchase it for 100 plat, and I've been working on getting my plat up. After spending this money here, it's quite a challenge to get back up here. It was a lot of lightstones and a lot of knolls. And then the other day, I think it's been a couple days since I actually streamed. The other day I actually ran into somebody in Blackborough, and Lord Elganub, or Lord Bungle, was up, and they actually killed them and let me loot the baby Joseph Sayer. So I can turn that quest in now, hopefully gain some reputation. And I decided to save that for stream. I didn't want to actually put that up on stream. So I wanted to actually see what the turn-in was. It was a quest from way back in the day that I actually wanted to actually do. So it was kind of funny. I was actually just in that room killing guardsmen over and over and over again, trying to gather as much teeth as I possibly could. I'm going to try to head into Western Carana today and hopefully be able to kill some more will-o-wisps to get some more stones, make a little bit more cash, try to level up, because right now they're about the only blue thing in the area. Now, the other news that I have is, as well, I actually leveled up to 15, which was quite the grind. I'm actually got my new spells, and it's been helping quite a bit. Actually, what's been helping the most is the Smoldering brand. So it feels a little bit too powerful for what the goal, like I said, what the goal of the stream was supposed to be for, or the series of streams was supposed to be for. So I don't know if I'm going to end up keeping it. I don't know. It probably wouldn't be available if you were to restart. Mind you, neither would the Ancient Snake Fang. Like if there would be a new server, it wouldn't be something to be able to do or be able to have. But we'll see anyway. Let's see. My faction's up quite a bit now. That paladin still wants to kill me. That roams around here. Guards are they're apprehensive now. Not too bad. I cannot build up my ranger or my druid faction at all, which makes me a little bit worried about trying to level in Western Carana. Oh, sorry. Just because of the roaming trees. They are ready to attack. So it's going to be a little difficult for me to maneuver through there. I don't know who. I'm hoping this turn in. Powerful dog. A powerful dog. I have encountered a gnoll who spoke the common tongue. He dared to call himself Lord Elgnub. There he is. Or Bungle. He swore that someday we would cross paths and he would snatch my infant son Joseph from our home. He would stand no chance against me and the mighty Gnoll Slayer. Mighty Gnoll Slayer. Okay, what Gnoll Slayer? Gnoll Slayer is... Did he just turn towards me? Gnoll Slayer is the mighty longsword which was passed down unto me through generations of Sayers. My days of battle are over, but I can still wield her. The only thing more precious would be my son. I would trade the Gnoll Slayer only for him to be safe and sound at home. I will be so upset if I turn him in and it is the wrong person. Let's go to here. I gotta actually find the right person that turned it into. I think it's him, but if I turn it into the wrong person, I'm going to be really... powerful dog, could you be found wandering? He was not wandering. He was underneath. He was in the snake pit room with all the spikes. Martin Sayers says, okay, here we go. Not spoil the... Okay. And here's the baby. A little bit hard to see. I couldn't actually get the resolution of these boxes to go up without messing up the entire game, as usual. I may have to try WinEQ, I don't know. Alright, so let's see what happens. I don't even know what the weapon actually is. I just know that it was a quest that I wanted to do a long time ago. And he's apprehensive right now. Let's give him the baby. Please be the right one. Hey! Baby Joseph, look, Mama. Baby Joseph has been rescued by this good adventurer. Me. I'm the good guy. The evil Lord Elgnub made good on his word and snatched my son from under our noses. You saved the day. For this, you shall wield the Gnoll Slayer. Okay. So, merchants got better. Unseen Hand got worse. Great. Guards better. Coalition of Tradefolk got better. That's a hard one to get up, I think. And Antonius Bale got better. And 1 platinum. Awesome. And I bet you the stats for this weapon absolutely suck. Take the music down just a hair. Just a hair. Here we go. Okay, let's have a look at this weapon. One-handed slashing. Not even magic. 628. Okay. What is he con to me now? Still apprehensive. I've rescued your son. I rescued your son, and that's it? I don't even get, like, indifferent? You still kind of hate me a little bit? Alright, let's see what this thing looks like. I can't believe it's not even magical. It's just a sword. Okay. I mean, it would have been an upgrade from the cracked staff. Definitely. But it is not magical. That was one of the issues that I had trying to kill the Will-O-Lewis. This is the first thing that you have to find. That was the first thing that I realized that I have to find if I were to ever start a new character on a new server is a magic weapon. Because once you hit like 11, 12, if you're not an evil character, you can actually do the Lightstone quest. So what about him? Oh yeah, my guy likes me now. Ew. Yeah, he likes me. All right. My man doesn't hate me anymore. How are you on this fine day? Great. So I want to see if it actually adjusted my faction with him at all. That stupid paladin. Probably not, but it does have some Antonius Bale faction, but I don't know if that actually adjusts with... If that's on his main faction, I don't know how much it affects it or not. Some of them, you know, that when you kill them or when you do quests, they give you a couple of different factions. So I think he's on Knights of Thunder. Something like that. I mean, the best way to find him, not to look for him, then he'll appear out of nowhere. I don't think he walks over here. Not this far anyway. I've also been trying to collect the putrid rib bones as well when I see the putrid skeletons, just in hopes that I can actually raise that faction to at least dubious, because then I can turn those rib bone quests in. So hopefully. Okay. I had a streak the other day of about 4 or 5 Greater Light Stones in a row. And with the money that I had saved up, this is just a rusty weapon. Yeah. I mean, 628 at that level, my level now, on a brand new character on a new server, would be pretty good. Probably about as good as you're going to get. I mean, the cracked staff, the 532, was the best weapon that I could find for however many levels. Until I bought the... Oh, is there people here? Probably in Ixar going through and... Oh, brown bear. Going through and just wiping the whole place again. That's what they tend to do. I might try bandits as well. That'll help my faction, but I gotta kind of watch that because the blood sabers will get pissed at me. And if I go to dubious, I won't be able to bank. I might still be able to bank because the bankers in Irrodin were still able to... I was still able to bank with them when they con dubious as well. So I'm not sure, but I won't be able to get spells. I have to travel back and forth on that ridiculous boat. So I guess I'm gonna head towards the Ranas because I can kill grizzly bears, I can kill bandits, and hopefully avoid the treants because they will eat me for lunch. Still don't see this paladin. All in all, as I was actually leveling, I realized that now that they updated Western Karana to have treants in it, it's no longer safe for evil characters to come and try to level and get reputation up. Who's that guy? Okay, that's just Nash. At one point, they weren't there. Maybe they were supposed to be there. I don't ever remember treants in Western Karana. It is possible they were there. He's still threatening. Okay. Oh, who's this guy? Okay, he's fine too. But my the couple of trolls that I have, yeah, I think trolls, Dark Knight or Dark Elf that I brought to kill bandits in that, the treants weren't there, so it was much easier to actually level and get your reputation up and stuff like that, and actually be able to make some money. But what I'll have to actually do is I'll probably have to sell all these moonstones just because it's taking up space in my bag, and the bandits will start dropping sashes hopefully, and I don't know if I can turn them in yet, but I think killing them actually builds my reputation with the paladins, at least on that side. But it's still going to be hard to get to because wizards, that stupid wizard GM likes to walk all over the place for whatever reason. She walks to the docks, which kind of prevents me from going back to Rudin from the boat. And then she also has a habit of walking over by the Thieves Guild, or pretty close to it, or at least the bar where you turn in the moonstones. And I don't get invisibility till 22, so until I get invisibility, I won't really be able to cut through there. But yeah, we're gonna see how this turns out. If I die, I'm gonna be very upset. I'm probably gonna laugh about it actually, but I'll just have to come back and get on the boat and come back. I had some other videos queued up as well that I want to watch. Hopefully I'll actually make them a bit better the other day, and hopefully the OBS actually decides to record them. For whatever reason, it did not record my last stream, which is annoying. I could go the full... She still doesn't like me? Wait a minute. That's weird. What got worse? Circle? She's not a Circle of the Unseen Hand faction, is she? I don't think so. This person's still killing the bard. I mean, I could go like full evil and then just find like spots like that to kill them. You're so apprehensive. Okay. Okay, I guess. What does this thing sell for? Nothing. Great. Yeah, I think I'm just going to get rid of these moonstones. I'm going to get rid of the light stones as well, just to get some more cash. I'm pretty sure I can't turn the light stones in. I might be able to turn them in when I get hide, but I don't get hide until like, I think 30 or 35 or something like that. I might be able to turn them in then, but at that point, they're not a whole lot of experience. I can still the... Oop. Shoot. Take that off. Try to hang on to the possible. Maybe I save them until tomorrow, but I don't think, again, goal was to sort of play it like it's a new server, but that's kind of hard because there's not enough players on it. So it was one of the reasons why I decided not to go solo self-found completely. Just because it's extremely difficult to do it when the population of the server is low. Although I have noticed that at night it's starting to peak over 700 again, which is good. You know, as soon as I sell them, someone's going to come in. Want to buy Lightstones, 10 plat a piece. But nobody's going to buy them on a new server for 10 plat. Not a single person. Not until at least a month or so in, probably. If not longer than that. Oh yeah, I also killed a rat and got a 3+3 charisma necklace. So score. Just happened to be wandering through the catacombs and he was up and I killed him. I'm still overweight. Even with oh man, that's horrible. I mean, I guess I get rid of the copper, and then maybe with the spell I actually go back over. Yeesh. I know on a new server I definitely would not start with an erudite. There's no way I would ever start with one, especially a Shadowknight. It's not a. I mean, it might be good if as a paladin, because there's lots of good paladin quests. There's no good Shadowknight quests. You do get the Warrens, which is nice. And it is possible that I should go back there, but I want to see how I do here. The bandit stashes are pretty good gold, pretty good platinum actually. As I've said before, that it's where I, when I started my ranger and I came here and I started killing all the bandits, and I realized how much plat you actually get. Plat per hour was quite high. I don't know if it's been nerfed or changed, but hasn't been quite the same as then. Nope, there it goes. So now I actually have Clinging Darkness, which is good. I can try Fear Kiting, but not really. Oh, I also bought oops. I also bought a bronze helmet on a vendor for 17 or 18 plat. So that was pretty good. One of the vendors that was dubious to me became apprehensive, and I was able to purchase. It was on them, and I was able to buy it. So that's pretty cool. Get back here. Oh, you know what? Okay. Okay, good. Good. Okay. Okay, apprehensive. I think she hated me the other day. No. No, it wasn't that one. There's another one here somewhere. This one? No, she was still good. There was somebody here. Oh, somebody sold a putrid one plat. mean, I'm never going to be... I don't think I'm ever going to be able to turn those in. Oh, I also got a high-quality bearskin, which I can try to sell. Or save if I want to try to do tailoring, too. Yeah, okay. I'll get some... Actually, I'll buy some bandages. Let's take this off. Buy some bandages. Then I'm going to try to kill some... Try to kill some bandits. The plat really isn't that hard to earn over here. Even just selling the lightstones to a vendor, it's, you know, yeah, it's going to take a while, but I don't even think my bard had, like, I've accumulated now, when I look at going through the warrens, turning in those quests. I'm going to get smoked by a tree. I know I am. I don't even think of my bard. I don't even think I have over 100 plat yet. So there's definitely more cash over here. Way more cash over here. Oh, grizzly bear is going to go down. Wait, this thing's not... No, it's just apprehensive. There's the treant right there. Perfect. Oh, look, that bandit's getting beat up. Smack him. Over here, you. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-oh. Okay. Oh, where did he go? I don't think any of them walk through the bandits. I don't think so. I guess I'm going to find out. Gotcha. Give me that. So Circle of Unseen Hands got better. That's good. Okay, so the only negative faction I get is the bandits themselves. Okay, so fuck those guys. Okay, let's there's no way I don't end up pulling like 2 or 3 of them at once. But I should be high enough level now that this shouldn't matter, even if I get a couple, 2 or 3 of them. Paranoid. Oh, I should actually do my pet too, but I wonder if that'll just make the aggro for the treants bigger. Ooh, oh yeah, bronze spear. Look at that. Oh man, there's not a chance I'm going to be able to stay here very long. I shouldn't have hit that one. That's all right. Should have done the disease cloud. Oh. Yeah, I probably should get my pet. Give it a bronze weapon. What's the spear do? 532. Just like the crack staff. That staff is like OP, man. For a new character. That's worth some gold, but I can't really carry it. I can kill the farmers too to actually get the sashes, which is good. This should be good for, oh man, this should be good for a level or so. And even with the quests, it's I can go up to, I think it's 18. They stop giving experience, I think. And then you can just kind of keep killing them, make money, and continue on from there. But I think at 22, I'll probably move on from here. We'll see. I might actually go back, see if there's anybody. Actually, I could probably check to see if there's anybody in the Warrens. Try to group. Okay, there's a sash. Good, and these things weigh a ton. Great. There's a couple other dangers here. If the treants don't come close... Oh, look, somebody's dead over there. Yeah. I bet you somebody walked close to the treant. There's a werewolf that crosses right through the middle of this little farm. There's also the ghoul messenger, which likes to come to right about here somewhere. He walks over. And that guy too, that little wandering spirit, just for the shaman epic. He also likes to cut through, so you gotta watch your tab targeting. Okay, now there's gonna probably be 2 of these guys in here, and I'm probably gonna die. Yep. Yep. Oh, there's just one? Wait, we're... Ah. There you are, sneaky. You gotta watch the repop too, because they backstab, and they can backstab for a lot of damage. I might try to fear, just because this one heals. Well, where the hell did you go? Get back here. Just warped through the wall. Back here. It's funny, all the times that I've... Oh, that... Okay, just a wolf. All the times that I've actually played Everquest, it wasn't until I played the Bard that I realized how good fear kiting was. I never tried it with my Shadowknight when I leveled... I have 2 other Shadowknights. Never bothered because it just wasn't worth it. It just didn't seem worth it. And then when I started doing it with my... Bard, it was so much better. I might as well start killing these farmers too. Not like they're actually farming anything. They have a chance to drop the stashes as well, and give me reputation on top of that. I could actually drain them, I suppose. Get some HP back so I don't have to sit as long. Funny, when you play a good race, it's something you don't have to do. You almost never have to look over your shoulder when you're playing a good race. Like, is anything coming? Nope, nothing? Nope, okay. Especially considering some of the best places to level are spots where there's either a lot of guards around, or there's treants around, or something. There's always something that wanders around that wants to kill you. Anybody? And this is probably... Is that somebody going across? That's probably too dangerous over there, probably. I don't know where that treant walks to. This is probably the safest one, even though the werewolf and the messenger also kind of walk through here. You can kind of see them coming a mile away. And you can run from the messenger unless he roots you. And I think you can run from the werewolf. unless he stuns you, and then you're kind of dead. But I've been caught by the werewolf. But you can't run from the treants because they will root you. Then you're just dead. Kind of the problem with them, I guess. But over on the other side, there's a larger bandit camp over this way, top of that hill. The treants walk right through there, I think. At least one of them does. And there's just too many grouped together for me. Once I hit like 18 or maybe 19 or something like that, it might be safer to pull them because the green ones won't social aggro with the other ones that I pull. So is there anything else around? Usually there's a couple of grizzly bears floating around, get some experience as well. Like this guy. Surprised I haven't seen the werewolf yet. He's always floating around. He usually doesn't go through the farm. He usually goes like along this road. But very, very rarely he'll come almost right through the thing. Hopefully the audio is okay. Oh. Okay. Is another bandit coming? Yeah. Oh. Two of them up now. They spawn pretty fast. Get this guy before he gets close. They do also like to backstab even if they're standing in front of you somehow. Not quite sure how they do that, but it has happened. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to turn them in. Okay, there's a barbarian. Where's the other guy? Nope. Nope. If I get two of them, I might be in trouble. If I get two blues, I might be in trouble. But I think I can fear one, maybe. I think that was something... I think something that I'd said before about playing in a Erudite Shadowknight because of the amount of intelligence that I have. It gives me a bigger mana pool. That has been massive for reducing downtime. Like, absolutely massive. Because when you look at the other races, except for the Dark Elf, who also, I think it starts at like 109 or something. Like the Troll and the Ogre have very low intelligence, which is very, very small mana pool. It's quite the difference. It's quite the difference, for sure. Especially like at low levels and no gear. I mean, once you have gear and stuff like that, I mean, I'm sure you can get pretty close. But starting off, it's quite the help for reducing downtime. Where'd he go? I gotta get him before the other one in the house spawns here, because that'll definitely be two of them. There you are. There you go. Ah, crap. Oh, wait. No. I gotta get him. No. I might have to use my arm touch here. Round. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna blast him. Just because I'm probably gonna run out of mana. Nope. No. Get over here. Oh, I resisted it. Haha. It's still a little bit difficult, but there we go. Wait, did I loot another one? I must have. Okay. Probably almost worth it to wait inside the house. Yeah, okay. Try to med here. Is there anybody here? Yep. Oh, Necromancer. They're soloing. Magician also soloing. Shaman's probably doing the ogres, I imagine. Nope. There's another one. Yeah, there's probably not a lot of time to, like, grab extra mobs. So I got an hour market for an hour for my arm touch to come back. I'm pretty sure I would have probably bid it there. I think the ranger or druid class of the bandits really annoying. It's not too bad. It's worse for dual wielders like a rogue or a ranger or something. Monk even, because of the field spell that they use, the thorns. But probably gonna have to try to sit in med for a few minutes. Yeah, they're a really good experience, that's for sure. Like I almost got a bubble. Oh, look. There he is. There's the werewolf. A little bugger. See him? He comes through on the yeah. He's right there. Little bastard. He was close too. Oh, he's okay. He's gonna follow the road. Get out of here. Okay. See where he's at. I think he comes pretty close to that. Where'd he go? Did he go? don't know. I can't see him anymore. I gotta be careful because I do not want to be. I think this is the spot where you gotta sit at. Because then I think they charge out as soon as they spawn. Which is what I want. If I can turn these sashes in, I can make quite a bit of cash. I still have to watch out for the wizards, but I can make quite a bit of cash. And I think my level 22 spells are going to be like 4 or 5 plat a piece. So. Did the music stop? Shouldn't have. Yes. Weird. See, the good thing about killing these guys, they spawn really fast. So. Pull him back. Another blue. Still want the other one to spawn, especially if it's a caster and it starts healing this one. That'll get really annoying really fast. I might have to sit in med for quite a bit, and then what I'll do is I'll put up the video that I want to watch and react to. Hopefully everything works for that. Oh yeah, look. Brigand, oh boy. And I don't have my arm touch either. Oh look, there's another walker down this way. Yeah, the brigands are a problem. They're always level, I think they're level 14. Oh, this is the ranger one. The ranger one is the one that hits you with the flame lick. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to probably sit in med for quite a bit. Gotcha. If I don't die. Oh boy, I'm gonna die. These thorns are beating the crap out of me. Oh no, and a big heal. Oh man. I'm so dying. No, shoot, I'm dead. 50, 38, 37. Come on. No, I'm dead. Oh, no way. Oh, man. That was brutal. Oh, he basically double slammed me for 45 right at the end. That was brutal. That was brutal. Okay. Let's see. Nobody here. Nobody here to port me over. That was brutal. That was brutal. All right, we're going to queue up the video. It's going to take me quite a while to get back over there. How much XP did I lose? Oh, about half a bubble. Okay, that's not that bad. I should have feared. I should have feared and probably shouldn't have attacked, considering I was low on mana and stuff too. Let's put up the video. I don't know if it's going to be any good or not. I been kind of looking at different videos to kind of watch while, you know, medding or while having to travel from a corpse run. So I might actually see if Dialport will give me a port over to there for a corpse run. Maybe they will. Again, that's not something that'd be available on a new server, but just for the sake of time. Okay, let's stop this. And so let's switch over to this. Let's turn this one off. Okay. Should I guess it doesn't matter. We can leave this on for now, I guess. There's my beautiful ugly mug. Since it is a reaction video, I guess, to some degree, we'll put it up. This one is titled Everquest, a retrospective. Got quite a few views, so if you're probably watching the stream and you've watched Everquest videos before, you've probably already watched this, but I haven't. So I would like to. And let's increase the audio this time. Hopefully it's not too loud. There. Check the stream, make sure it's working. Stream is working. Hopefully the audio is all right. I don't want it to be too loud.
If you're like me, you probably get butterflies in the pit of your stomach just from hearing this music, and it fills your head with ancient memories of adventure, fear, and excitement. But if you're not like me, you're probably thinking, what the hell is this guy talking about? Well, either way, we're about to take a look at one of the greatest and most influential games in history, but before we can find out where we're going, we have to go back to where it all began. So, it's the late 1990s. Multiplayer gaming is in its infancy. If you're a fan of multiplayer RPGs in that time period, you most probably got together in a room with your friends and played Dungeons & Dragons or Warhammer or Monopoly, you know, over a tabletop, like, you know, in person. I know, right? You had to actually leave your room. Or if you're like me and you had no friends, I'm just kidding. I was a popular kid in school.
Hey, that's me.
You would probably plug your computer into the phone and dial up to this thing called the internet and connect to like a text-based RPG, otherwise known as MUD. No, not that kind of MUD. This kind of MUD. It stands for Multi-User Dungeon. Then one day in 1999, your older brother comes home from his friend's house and he's like, "Get off Mum's computer, I got this new game. It's just like MUD, but it's got graphics." And thus, my first breathtaking and exciting...
That was not the box art that I had. Actually, I still have the box here somewhere.
experience into the world of Everquest was born. Everquest, the grandfather to the modern-day MMORPG, the first of its kind to run off a true 3D engine and play in first-person perspective, or a third-person if you want to scrub. This game practically laid the foundation for the current MMO, and it birthed a list of do's and don'ts that other games still use to this day.
It never had, you could never scroll out when Everquest first came out. That wasn't until, I think it was after, whenever they introduced the new HUD, or the new user interface, that was the only time that you could actually do it.
A good example of a don't was this classic UI.
There you go.
I mean, look at this thing. It has absolutely zero customization.
Yep.
The visual gameplay space is not even 50% of the screen.
Yep.
You only have one chat window. The whole thing is cramped and claustrophobic. This UI is actually so old you can't even get the real thing anymore. What you're looking at here is a custom-made recreation, and it's about the closest you can get to the original. But you know what? I actually miss this UI. I really do. It's probably just nostalgia, but there's just something about it.
No.
I guess it's
Nope,
a good thing
I don't
then
miss
that
that.
this UI only lasted just over a year before they gave the option to replace it in the Velios expansion. I believe
Was
it
it
got
Velios?
removed completely a year or two later, sometime during the Shadows of Lucerne expansion.
Mm.
Anyway, I might be jumping the gun a bit here. Why don't we talk about character creation first? When the game launched in 1999, you got access to 12 playable races and 14 different classes to choose from. That's almost double what current MMOs roll with these days. Then, over the next 14 years and 19 expansions that followed, they introduced an extra 4 races and 2 classes on top of their already diverse cast.
Yep.
Okay, so you log in and you have to create a character. You pick the prettiest face and you're ready to roll. Wait a second, what's this? I have to distribute stat points? I have to pick a deity and a starting city?
I've already said this, I think, before. Let's go back a second here. Where is the where he zooms in on the stats? I'd actually just finished playing. I think it was Elder Scrolls 2, 3. No, it wasn't Morrowind. It was 2, I think. And I just finished playing like a build where you had like a very high charisma. And when Everquest came out, I had actually put a lot of my points in from my Shadowknight into charisma. It did not help at all.
Okay, so you log in and you have to create a character. You pick the prettiest face and you're ready to roll. Wait a second, what's this? I have to distribute
There
stat
it is.
points?
Yeah.
I have to pick a deity and a starting city? What is this? So, back in the day, character creation was very important. You needed to distribute your stat points properly, as it would seriously affect the early life of your character.
Yep.
Equipment back then often didn't have any stat points until like level 40. In most cases you had to wait until well into your 50s until your gear had anything other than just armor class on it.
And that is also when I learned about the auction at East Common Lands. I had actually went back and I actually purchased I think it was the neck piece, small fine steel neck, the neck armor. And I wasted like 300 something plat on it. It was insane. And then somebody said, hey, why don't you just go to the, if you have so much money, why don't you just go to the East Common Lands and buy something brand new? And then that's when I learned about that.
Till like level 40. In most cases you had to wait until well into your 50s until your gear had anything other than just armor class on it. A lot of people don't realize this when they first start out and they dump their points into the wrong stat. Well, have fun
was me.
re-rolling 40 hours in once you hit
Yeah.
like 15 and you realize your character's gimped because you should have put all your points into like strength and stamina instead of
Yep.
charisma. And stat points are just the beginning.
Yeah. That was I didn't really know too many other people that made that mistake. Most people already knew like could put their points into strength and not into charisma. I think I tried to like round out all of my stats. And it was severely hampering.
I should probably also mention that this game featured a more D&D approach to racial statistics.
Yep.
In this game, each of the race's base stats are different from one another, meaning some race class combos work better than others. For example, it's possible to create a gnome warrior, however it probably isn't a good idea, because a gnome warrior's base stats are something like 75 strength and 100 stamina, whereas if you created an ogre warrior, he can start with 147 strength and 150 stamina. Now that might not sound like much, but like I said earlier, stats on gear isn't a really big thing in this game, so those extra 50 plus points are a huge difference. This is a feature that was not adopted by future games of the genre.
No. I remember actually there was a lot, actually when I started playing there was a lot of dark elves. Almost my entire server was dark elves. And it wasn't until really close to Kunark that everybody started realizing how good stats were. I think there was some people that kind of figured it out, but it was very late before people sort of realized this.
Okay, what's next? You need to choose a deity. Deity? Who cares? Big deal, right? Wrong. Certain deities in this game can seriously affect your gameplay experience.
Yep.
For instance, if you're a good race and you choose an evil deity, you're still going to have trouble moving around and interacting with people in certain areas of the game that you wouldn't have otherwise. There are definitely ways to work around this, but to a new player who doesn't know any better, it's not so easy. Now, if you don't care, you can choose agnostic and you're pretty much good to go. Although deity alone is not always the determining factor in whether or not an NPC is going to melt your face off with his bare hands, because some races just don't like other races in this game. There are a lot of races. However, sometimes choosing agnostic isn't even an option, as some race class combinations are restricted to certain deities. But you know, if you're going to play an evil character, you should pretty much expect to run into trouble in non-evil areas, and vice versa if you roll a good character. I feel I have to mention Ixar in here somewhere. When I said earlier that there are usually ways to work around all of this faction stuff, that is true unless you play an Ixar. These guys are forced to choose an evil deity and are tolerated by no other races in the game. Oh, and to top it all off, their starting city is on a continent of its own. But they're awesome because they have tails, so yeah. Anyway, I could sit here all day talking about deities and factions and other related crap without even scratching the surface, so I'm just gonna move on. So now we have to choose a starting city. Usually you don't get much of a choice in this matter, because your class, race and deity will have narrowed it down to one. However, there are a few who can choose between multiple starting cities. Most of these cities are hours away from each other, and they're spread across 3 different continents. So if you got a buddy who rolled a race that doesn't start somewhere close to you, you probably won't be playing together until like weeks into the game.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay,
maybe.
so we get into the game.
Back then, it was a lot harder to travel because people were more scared to travel.
And we're somewhere. Where do we go? There's no in-game map, and there's no real clear indication of where to go. So, in-game maps weren't implemented until 2003 in the Legacy of Yakeshi expansion, which means back in the day you had to find maps on the internet from sites like EQ Atlas and like print them out or whatever.
And there was people that used to actually use craft paper to actually draw out an entire map. Say this is where this thing is, and this is where they ran into this. Just like D&D, that was the point. That's what they wanted originally.
But even then, a lot of the time, you still had no indication of what direction you were facing, so start spamming that sense heading button. Most zones were pretty straightforward. If you wanted to move from one end to the other, you could usually run along one of the walls.
Yeah.
Or if it was an outdoor zone, there was usually a road you could follow that were reasonably safe. But then there were zones that were not so straightforward to navigate. Oh, there were some zones in this game that are so not straightforward to navigate that it is honestly a wonder how people manage to learn them at all. A classic example of this is Lower Guck. The zone is so convoluted and messy, and to top it all off, there are invisible walls, slippery floors, traps, and pitfalls. It's a fucking mess. Oh, and did I mention that when you die, not only do you lose experience, but you spawn back to wherever your bind location is, naked. So if you're bound halfway across the world, not only are you going to have to run back to the dungeon, but you got to work your way through all the mobs you killed on the way to get to wherever you died, just so you can retrieve all your gear. Alright, so we've been killing rats and bats for a while now, and we're like level 5, so it's time to check out our first dungeon. What the hell? Everything here is already dead. Okay. That's right, instances back in the day did not exist.
Nope.
Everything in the zone was contested. Most zones worked off a camp system, so when you entered the zone you would call out, "Camp check!" and people at corresponding locations would reply, and then you would ask to be put on the list of any particular group that you wanted to join. What that meant was whoever was leading that group would write your name down on a piece of paper, and when someone left he would call the next person on the list, and then if he was the one leaving he would pass all the names on to whoever wanted to be the leader next, and so on and so
Yeah,
forth.
absolutely.
There was no...
Absolutely no corruption happened there whatsoever. Nobody's friend got into Lower Guck to get the FBSS. Never. That never happened.
UI or in-game elements to help with this system at all. It was completely done by the players, but it actually worked really well.
Yep. Surprisingly.
Okay, well, this dungeon thing isn't really working out for us, so I don't want to wait on this group list thing, and I can't solo anything in here for the life of me. Why don't we go check out the auction house to see if I can upgrade some of my gear with this hard-earned silver I have. Oh, what's that? There is no auction house in Everquest?
Not a one.
The closest we ever came to an auction house was the Bazaar, which came with the Shadows of Lucian expansion. This allowed players to set up a trader in the zone called a Bazaar. You would
Ruined the
set
game,
prices for
by
your
the way.
wares, and then your character would act like an in-game.
Absolutely ruined the game. It took all of the communication between players and completely removed it, and that was the only thing keeping it alive, really. Oh. Oh. Get away from me, please.
NPC
Trying to
merchant.
watch and move
then you
to the
could leave
druid
your
rings is
computer and
impossible.
go to bed or go to work or whatever, and people would come along and look through the
Yeah.
crap that you were peddling and decide to buy it or not. But alas, I am getting ahead of myself. This was only introduced in 2002. Before that, people used to go to the East Common Lands Tunnel. This zone was the unofficial trading zone of the game. And back in the Kunark Velios days, you couldn't link items in chat.
Nope.
Now, think about that for a second. Anyone who's played an MMO in the last 10 years knows what linking an item in chat is, but just in case there's someone out there who doesn't.
You always had to use the abbreviated, like your FBSS for your flowing black silk sash, your DWBs, your dwarven work boots, your gold, your GCBs, your gold chinton bracers.
It's
Hero
when you
braces,
create
people
a
would just
link
type it
of an
in,
item
but
that you're trying to show someone, so
Yeah.
they can click on it and it opens up in a little box, and you see the stats and, you know, like a picture of the item or whatever. Now, imagine you're trying to sell an item without being able to link it. What do? That's right, you used to have to manually write out all the stats of each
Mhm.
item that you were trying to sell and spam the shit out of the trade chat with massive walls of text. I mean, there were some items that had adopted nicknames over the years.
There you
Some
go.
of the popular ones didn't need to have their stats written out every time. People would just say selling fungi tunic or lamentation or flowing black silk sash. And if someone didn't know what that item's stats was, all they had to do was ask. It was
Yep.
a much easier method. So I know all this sounds horrible and slow and annoying,
Nope.
right? Well, yeah, you are right. But
no.
what
wasn't.
it also did was forced interaction with other players. Some MMOs out there these days, you can pretty much go through the entire game without interacting with a single other player, which kind of defeats the purpose of the first two letters in the word MMORPG. Well, that was long-winded. Why don't we talk about quests? I mean, the game is called Everquest, right? It should be full of interesting and fun and exciting, well-designed quests. Am I right? No, I'm not right. I'm completely wrong. If you wanted a more accurately descriptive title of the game, it would be Evergrind or Never Rest, because questing in this game, at
Evercrack.
least back in 2000, was extremely primitive. I mean, there weren't even that many real quests that I remember while leveling up. Most of the quests were just hand-ins, where you collect items off mobs you were already killing in dungeons and turn them in
Hey,
for a
that's
bit
the
of
quest that I was
XP
gonna do.
faction and a piece of vendor trash.
Until I died.
It wasn't like modern day MMOs where questing is your main source of experience and leveling up. I mean, take a look at WoW. Every direction you turn, you'll find someone with a floating exclamation mark over their head. In EQ, the most common way to find out about a quest was word of mouth from other players. And
Or
when you
talk to
finally do
NPCs.
find the quest, it's not like WoW where they hold your hand through it and tell you exactly where to go and what to kill. So let's take a look at an early game quest as an example. You go up to an NPC and you hail them, and if they have something interesting to say, there will be a keyword in their dialogue that's in brackets, in which you reply something like, "What symbol of Inarok?" And this prompts the next section of dialogue. This can go on for quite some time before you get an actual objective. luckily for us, this quest is fairly
Looks like I'm taking the
straightforward.
boat.
So this guy wants me to go and get 4 of the holy symbols worn by these halfling druids that are chilling somewhere in the forest outside the city. Okay, easy. So we head out into the forest. Let's bring up our map to see where these halflings are. Oh, that's right, there is no map. Okay, so after looking up on our internet map and going to all the places that these little bastards might be, we finally found them.
There was no internet maps at the time. You couldn't. There was nothing to actually look up when you first started. I think Alakazam came out and it was widely known right after Kunark, I think.
Alright, so what do I need from these guys again? Holy weapons or something? And how many did this guy ask me for? Let's just bring up our quest log and check. Oh, what's that? There's no such thing as a quest log?
Nope.
That's right. Questing was so primitive that you had no way to track your progress, so better get out your pen and paper and start writing shit down, because if you lose track of what you're doing, you can severely screw your progress. And if you turn shit in the wrong order or the wrong amount, and if everything is not done absolutely perfectly, the items you just spent like 10 hours gathering will get swallowed up by the quest dude, and you won't get shit.
And you have to start over again, and then that's why they call it Everquest, because you're just Everquesting. There's something to be said for not holding your hand. Some people might call it hardcore now. I don't think it's hardcore. Actually, just a second here. Yes. There we go. Sorry. Yeah, there's definitely something to be said for the questing system the way that it was. It was intentionally, if you go back and read anything that they used to say about it, it was intentionally done this way to force people to actually think about what they're doing. And now it's just mindless clicking. So that's probably what creates the sort of addictive nature of the game, at least nowadays.
And like I said before, this is one of the most straightforward quests in the game. There are some quests out there that are so ambiguous, it's a wonder people can even finish them with a written guide. But really, when people think about quests in classic EverQuest, they are thinking about epic quests. You want to talk about ambiguous? So I should probably explain. In EverQuest, there were epic items, but it's not like in WoW where you can just fucking run around in circles on the wrong end of Alterac Valley and the game
I better get
just
there.
like throws epic items at you. No. EverQuest's first expansion introduced an epic weapon for each class. These weapons had unique and cool looking graphics, and they were the only weapons in the game at the time to have particle effects.
I think Soulfire, if I'm not mistaken, I think Soulfire was the first epic, and I think it was in Classic. It was in before Kunark came out. It was the one where you had to kill the guy in Freeport and turn his head in or whatever, and you had to work on faction and stuff like that. So I think Soulfire was there before Kunark came out. I'm pretty sure it was.
Some of these weapons are still considered top tier, even well into later expansions. So, how did one acquire these epic weapons, you ask? Well, they weren't dropped off raid bosses. Not quite, anyway. They were quests. Very epic and long quests, as the name would indicate. In the grand scheme of things, some of these weapons were a lot easier to get than others, and some were way, way, way harder to get.
Just sitting in the... when's this one? This one. Just waiting for the boat.
When I say they weren't quite dropped off raid bosses, I mean parts of their quests were dropped off raid bosses. Usually one at a time, on a boss that had a 7-day respawn timer, mind you.
The shaman, I think the shaman one is the easiest one to get to, I think. I see more shamans with it anyway than I do any other class with their epic.
Oh, and remember earlier how I was talking about there not being instances and everything was contested?
That one's impossible.
Well, that's right. You got a raid boss who's holding a piece of your epic quest, well, first in, first served. And even if you do manage to get the kill, it wasn't even guaranteed that he would drop the piece you were after anyway. Some of these pieces were extremely rare drops.
Yep.
I want to go off on a little tangent here. This is just
here we
a
go.
personal note I wanted to share with everyone. Remember how I was talking about some zones that were like just horrid to navigate through? Well, I wanted to show you this one. This is Kedge Keep. I had to learn how to get through the zone for a piece of my epic quest. I mean, granted, these quests were introduced when the level cap was like 60, and by the time I got around to doing it on my bard, it was 3 expansions later and the level cap was 65, so a lot of the stuff was soloable or duoable. But still, Look at this shit. I had to learn how to do this on my own. And this guy that I had to kill, Finagle Ortrops here, he only spawns like every 7 days. I somehow managed to get him on a rotation of Saturday mornings, and every Saturday...
He was 7 days early on. He got changed later.
Morning, I'd come down here and check if someone else had already killed him, and if not, I'd try and solo him. And it was the kind of thing that it was possible to solo, but one tiny mistake and I'd die, so most of the time I had to drag a friend down here to help me. This shit took me like 6 months before he finally dropped the item that I needed. Anyway, my point is, you can imagine what it would be like doing this with a raiding guild who have more than one bard doing their epic quest. Not to mention the boss being contested, so any guild on the server can pretty much have at him. So yeah, the shit was called epic for a reason. So you've just sat here and listened to me for the last 20 minutes going through and pretty much bitching about every aspect of this game. The funny thing is, I love this game. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yep.
I mean, modern day MMOs spoon feed you everything. They hold your hand for the first half of the game, if not more. They tell you how to do everything. When you played Everquest in 1999, you had to learn everything yourself. The game...
June 2nd, 1999 is when I played, I believe it was. June 2nd or June 3rd.
Forced you to interact with other players and learn together, which I think is the whole point of an MMO. It taught you to be careful and think about what you were doing in every situation and to fear making a mistake. You couldn't just throw caution to the wind and run around about carelessly because the game would punish you for it. It's probably
so bad.
because of this that I have some great memories of this game, like 10 plus years after I stopped playing it. And it's also why I still ramble on about it today. So, for everyone who used to play Everquest back in the day, I hope this was a fun trip down memory lane for you. And if it was, feel free to post some of your old Everquest memories or stories in the comments below. And to anyone else who never got to play Everquest in its glory day, I hope this was an entertaining look back into kind of gaming history. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Awesome video. Go down to like it's pretty old video, 12 years ago now. About but it was an awesome video for sure. All right, let's get back to the game here. Just for a moment. Where is one? That's probably super loud. My bad. There we go. Yeah, it was a good video. I mean, I wish I think I still technically have my old PC and still have all my own old screenshots on it, all of my old save stuff, like all of that. I wish I still had all that stuff. I don't even think it's retrievable, even if I did have it. That was a good video, though. Never watched it before. I've seen it on my feed quite a few times, but I never ever watched it. I'm sure most people that have played Everquest have probably already watched it, but... I mean, again, some of the stuff too, it's like you kind of think, you know, like I said about the Kedge Keep, the respawn. we always thought it was every week when they did the reset. It's very possible that it could have been every 12 hours then. I'm pretty sure that stuff was changed though later on to not be like every 12, or not to not be every week. It was every 12 hours. I'm not even sure Kedge Keep was actually there like at the very beginning. I think it opened up later, like into the first year of EverQuest. I think it opened up some point in a patch or something like that, because there was always tons of patches. The very first patch that I remember was when Drelsna, they removed the J boots from Drelsna. That was the worst one, and I was in that zone trying to get the J boots very early on, and she was only like level 18, so it was available to like everybody. And that was the most camped mob before the change. And then the patch notes came out and it was changed and it was removed. And it's like, what? It became a quest. And then the Jenna slowly died after that. That place used to be packed. Absolutely packed. All right, so we got this. I think this will give me some merchants of Kino's faction as well. So I must have destroyed it or something like that, because I thought I had one in my bank, but I get rid of it. I did actually want to start streaming something else. I was actually planning on start streaming a different game. And then I was like, well, you know what? I've been playing EverQuest a lot lately. I just got back into it a couple of months ago, and I know it fairly well. Maybe not as well as some people, but I know it fairly well. So I figured I'd start streaming with this and see how it kind of goes. It obviously doesn't have a very big audience, but at least it lets me set up my stream in that for anything in the future that I decide to do. And I spend some time during the day playing it anyway. So I do have something else set up too, but I don't want to do back-to-back things. Let's see if I can do this on here. Oh, there we go. Okay, there. Oh, I don't want to miss getting off the boat here. There we go. Yeah, I actually have a tier list done up that I want to do. I want to enrage some people. Not really. It's just my opinion. I'm sure everybody else will have their own opinion on what's better and what the boat. Just do like a complete like. All right. So what's this guy now? See, now they're apprehensive. Okay, so he's okay. What about that guy? He's dubious now. It is the daytime. All right. What's that thing? Is this a coin? What the hell was that? What the hell did I just pick up? A wooden fishing tackle. Yeah, it's there again. Has it always been there? Oh well. All right. So I got to go the long way through. Good thing nothing in here wants to attack me. I think it's this way. That's what that says anyway. I'm pretty sure. You know, I've done this enough times that you think I'd actually know the way. Let's go there. Pretty sure this way, that way. Yeah, it is this one. Okay. I was right. Then this, yeah, there's the sign. This way. What the hell was that bat doing in there? Pretty sure it's over here. Yeah, this bit. Right? Is this right? Wait a minute. How the hell did I... Okay, there's that. Where the hell did I go? Okay, that's weird. Okay. Now I'm in the right... Whoa. Now I'm in the right spot. Okay. Jump. Yeah, it's this way. Yeah, okay, there we go. And then it's this way. Okay, now I know my way out. Wait a minute. What the hell happened? Yeah, there's this. Then it's this way. Then it's this way. Then it's this way. Okay, I found it again. So weird. And then the undead knight guy is over here. Ooh, he's up. Oh, I don't have any. Never mind, I don't have any gear. Would have been funny to get killed by level 4. This way, through, and then we're going to get out. Okay, we found the way out again. There we go. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, here we go. Oh no. Oh no. Ah, I got stuck. All right, now we begin to run back. It's not too bad of a run. Kind of annoying, obviously. But there's not a whole lot I can do about that. It is what it is. I would have to do this if it was a new server, like I said before. So what I'll do is I'll probably just get my corpse, and then I'm probably just going to do this tier list, and then that'll probably... That might be it. I think. We'll see. I know other people have done tier lists, and mine's going to be totally different. Plus, there's also... I think at least one class, and this will be based on P99, not Classic. There's one class that I haven't played a lot, and that's the Monk. So my Monk rating will be definitely skewed. But I still think it's accurate because the Monk is a melee tank, and it kind of goes along with the rest of them. So I think it still fits there. I gotta find out what that tackle box is for. Okay. Let's avoid dying to... I should have got somebody to bind me. Is anybody here? Oh, stop moving. See if anybody will bind me there. I'm probably better off doing that. Let's see if anybody is available. Oh, I gotta watch out for that guy. He will whoop me good. There's probably not anybody. Oh. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna sit here for a second. Oh, there's Neclo. He's still threatening. Or Nick loss. Okay, I'm gonna go AFK for a second. I'm gonna go grab some more coffee. I'll be right back. Nobody yet, huh? Well, that's poop. That is poop. All right, let's keep going. I guess I gotta go get my corpse. And yeah, I'm gonna have to sit in med for a bit. So actually what I should have done was walked in and turned in that Bard quest, but that's all right. Trying to do the main, like, sort of level grinding away from, like, the stream because it can be a little tedious. That wasn't too bad because the spawn was pretty good. But when I get to the point where, like, I have to do spawns that are, like, every 20 minutes, that'll be hard. Won't be able to stream that, really. Maybe I have to queue up some more videos or something to do. I have a couple other ones, but... Oh, cleric. Oh, they probably could buy me, but I guess, but... Oh, there's probably a werewolf. Right? He was probably running from a werewolf. No? Okay. I don't think it could be any darker. Tried. I'm not picking anybody up, so. Usually it's a werewolf when I see somebody that zones over. Like that. All right. No, nobody around. Again, this some of the problem, right? You know, I've talked about it quite a bit now. There needs to be like another MMO like this would be great. That just had a bit more, I don't want to say convenience to it or ease to it or anything, but just add some, you know, some features. And the problem that I see too with, I think I said this the other day about like Monsters and Memories, Pantheon. Pantheon might be a bit of an exception to it, but Pantheon's just tanking at this point. There's some hardcore players playing it. There's just when I looked the other day, there was less than 700 people. So, and I think the peak still reaches about 1,000. But it's not very long. It's usually an hour or two, and it's about 1,000 players. And then every other time it's like 600, and sometimes it even goes down to like 200, which is essentially P99 numbers, or green, P99 green anyway. So it's got about as loyal of a following as Everquest does now. So that's one of the other reasons I chose to play Everquest instead of continue to stream Pantheon, because like I said, getting to level 12 with my druid on Pantheon, I had nothing. I couldn't kill anything. It was worse than Everquest, I have to say. It was much worse. You can solo like a little bit, but it was not fun streaming it. It was very boring. And Everquest is already boring. Don't get me wrong. I understand that it is. That's why I constantly just keep talking. I'm sure that annoys some people that just want to have it on in the background or something, but it was the reason why I chose to stream this instead, because the population is a little bit better. And it's not a little bit better. It's about the same, maybe a little bit worse. But okay, can I summon my corpse from here? There we go. Whoa. I just miss having to restart again. I might have given up on my Shadowknight if that was the case. That was so unbelievably close. That was so unbelievable. I probably could have left it and maybe got a res at some point, but all right, I gotta go back to hit up the selling and whatnot, lighten my load a bit. I'm carrying way too much stuff with me. Let's see here. So yeah, I mean that was my decision to start streaming Everquest, even though it's essentially the same. And I was looking at even starting to stream Dune as well, but then I watched somebody stream it last night, and that was even worse for some reason. It was a lot of just it's like an open world survival game that you just have to spend all of your time traveling back and forth between resource nodes. It didn't seem fun. And for some reason made for an even worse experience streaming than Everquest. And like I said, this isn't what you call top tier streaming game, that's for sure. But it's something to get my start in. And hopefully move on from there. And return from time to time as well, because I enjoy playing it. Maybe it's nostalgia, I think it's just the quality of the game. Like I've said before, like all the systems in the game, all the different things that you can do, all the different characters or all the different classes, all the different races. You can have different race class combination. It makes your gameplay totally different experience every time you play it. You know, and people will run a game like Elden Ring over and over and over and over again and choose different abilities, different skills or whatever. And that's totally fine. But when it comes to like something like this, people just see it as like, no, it's just the same. It's just too old school. It's too hard or too difficult or whatever. But I mean, if you wanted an MMO to play and you've never played it before, I highly recommend it. But then that's rose-colored glasses probably. But still, I think if you get into it, I think anybody that is not already playing it definitely enjoy it if you like MMOs. But I was saying before about like Monsters and Memories and Pantheon, and then there was another one. Now I forget the name of it. They're not on Steam. Number one, that's a big problem. I mean, the P99's not on Steam either, and that's probably for copyright reasons and everything else. They can't sell it and all that. They have streamlined how to actually download it and stuff, which is good. But like Monsters and Memories is just, it's like they're trying to protect the game. Like whatever game that they're creating, they're just trying to shield it from outside criticism. And that's not the way to develop a game. The way to develop a game is exactly what Everquest did, and it's exactly what World of Warcraft did, is throw it out onto the marketplace, see what people think, and then adjust it. You know, you're this constant like teasing us with a oh shit. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Oh shit. No, he was green anyway. Ooh. Ooh, that almost gave me a heart attack. This constant tease of, oh, like, you know, here's a pre-alpha that you can play. And I get not wanting a certain level of criticism, because if you release a game too early, it can do a lot of damage to it, especially if it's not ready. Because people just don't have the patience nowadays to say, okay, let this thing cook and see what they end up with, right? You know, but in that case, you don't, you know, but a lot of people, the big problem they have is that those same people that will put those games up, they'll charge like $70 for early access, right? Like look at Pantheon. Pantheon was, what is it, $35? It might even be $45 now. And for early access, you know, that's a big price. That's a big asking price for a game that's not ready yet. I think early access games should have like a very low barrier to entry, 10, $20 maybe. And then you kind of go along for the ride. Like this thing of having to go through like their own websites, and then you got to wait for the beta, and then you know, you don't know if you pay for an alpha gameplay, you know, package or whatever. You don't know if you're actually available to play right now or if it's later or what the hell's going on. They make it too ambiguous to actually try to sign up for them. And like I said, it just seems like they're trying to protect their game from criticism, right? Because once people start criticizing it, once it's open to criticism, if the game sucks and it starts being open to criticism, then the hype for it dies down, and the potential for them, if there are some people out there that develop games that are essentially just a scam. I forget the guy's name. He was making that mech game or something like that, and that seemed like a big scam. Forget his name off the top of my head. So if that's the case, if it is like a scam, right, you're protected on Steam, you're not protected on their website or their platforms, whatever they're using, right? Because like the day before was a huge scam, even though actually when I played that game I actually didn't mind it, just needed to be fine-tuned a bit, but it was clearly a scam. Can I get this guy? Yeah.
I'm always trying to see through your flaws, 'cause I know that you got so much more to give. You made a real mess, but I miss you though, 'cause I can go to sleep when I'm alone again. Say you wanna fix our problems. How long should I be waiting? Feels like I've had to.
I gotta look that other game up. I can't remember the name of that. Is it Ascension or something? No, I don't think it's Ascension. Oh, Greater Lightstone. Hey, there we go. Another 4 plat. Whoa. Stand off side here for one. I might as well go through the zone. Actually, there's another. There's another one way over there. Right by that paladin that wants to kill me. Oh, did he move? Back here. You're literally walking right in that paladin's path. Get over here. So glad I can see at nighttime. Man, I cannot remember the name of that game. Let's see here. Oh, Chrono Odyssey looks good. I just put that on my wish list. Pioneer, I guess it's called. I played that as well. It was okay. I didn't really get very far. It was a little glitchy. I glitched out and the game crashed like twice. But again, I'm not willing to say, oh, it's horrible just because of that. Right? It's like you got to be a little bit patient with stuff like that, especially if I was playing it for free basically. So, what's that called? Pantheon, yeah. Okay. Oh, Ashes of Creation. That's it. Oh my god, I believe I forgot that one. That's the one that I was talking about before, about where it's really ambiguous when you go onto their website, and it just says, "Oh, start now," because the new alpha gameplay is available now. Doesn't say when it ends, and if you have to jump through hoops to find out when a game ends, like when that playtest period ends, it's a little sketchy. You know, it's not that it's a big deal to go jump through hoops to find out, you know, something like that, but it's a little sketchy to me. And it was also like $150 or something like that, which I wouldn't mind actually putting it up if I actually could be guaranteed that I could play. I probably should have checked them beforehand, but I'm pretty sure I'm okay now. Just that Lanshan guy hates me. Or Lashin, or whatever the hell his name is. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that that's available that way. And plus, they've been promising everything in under the sun, and that usually never works out. I think these guys are okay with me now. So who do I turn this into? Oh, I can't log out. Okay, Bardic Letter, Kinos. Isn't it? Was it this one that he said? Let me see. I probably can't go all the way back, can I? Oh, there he is. Oh, it's still there. Cool. Take this letter to Braylon Marsinger in Kino. So you can find him in the Bard Guildhall. Okay. Braylon Marsinger. There he is. This is for you. Hey. The League of Antonican Bards got better. Knights of Truth got better. That's interesting. Guards of Kinos got better. And Ring of Scale got worse. And Mayom, I don't really give a shit about those. Huh. Is that guy that's out here, the preacher guy, Lashin, is he Knights of Truth? That might be a way to actually build my faction with them, and maybe with the paladin outside. Interesting. Wait, like, oh, they're so apprehensive. And I crashed. Okay, give me a second. Oh man, be right back while I fix this. Just gonna take a minute for the server to reset my character. Okay. Love it when it crashes. So it was, let's see if I can find that guy now. I still have to go to my bank, which means going through the tunnels again. Where's he at? He over here? No, I don't see him. Not out preaching tonight. And sometimes it doesn't take very much faction adjustment sometimes. Like you could just be just threateningly. So sometimes it doesn't take very much to actually boost it past and get it up to dubious. As I found out with the Warriors Guild and the Hyde quest. Nope. There we go. You have no idea how... I've said this before too. No idea how tempting it is. I have gear in the bank, and it's like it's so tempting to want to actually just take the gear out and start leveling. But I can't do that. It's not the goal of this stream. See if it's possible. See how hard it is. And to see if a new server actually starts up. What that would actually be like. Yeah, I remember it this way. I don't remember it the other way. Wait, no, it's over here. By the go back. Come on, there you go. Is he dancing to the music? It's funny that I think that's the only place for that mob. Like that mob model. I think it's only here. I just stream here for now. Do I stream here or on Twitch? I used to stream on Twitch. I don't anymore. I haven't for a long time. I just got a 2 PC setup for streaming. I'm going to move forward to do on Twitch as well, but it might not be for a little while. I want to make sure that I can actually commit the time right now to actually doing it. And then once I can, then I probably will stream on Twitch, and I'll probably stream on Kick if that's even possible. If that's even a thing at that point. I don't even know if it's a thing right now, but... I know there's a thing about people that they prefer to watch on different platforms and that. Okay. Cool. How's Quarm's population doing? I did see that it was down a little bit. I think I've said like before it was down the last time I saw it, but I think last night or the night before I saw that it was back up to over 1,000 people again, which is good. What was I doing? Yeah, so pretty similar to green when it's, you know, like peak time, like 600, 700, right around that. I did see 1,000 on Quorum 2 nights ago, I think maybe, or not, maybe not last night, the night before. It was over 1,000. It was like 11 something. So that was like my time. It was like 9 o'clock. Oh, you lost. You had a ranger and then you gave up because you lost the corpse. Yeah, there was a monk in my guild that lost their corpse as well, and they gave up, which was unfortunate. But it happens, unfortunately. I'm surprised the GM couldn't help you, really. Okay. So do I just not have enough strength? Is that my problem? Probably. Let's put this in here. Quite a bit of weight. Oh, okay. You didn't try that hard. Yeah. I was gonna try to play on Quorum as well, but because I think Quorum is going up to Plains of Power, right? And that wasn't my jam back in the day. I never made it to Plains of Power. So I know a lot of people did. A lot of people actually came in at Plains of Power. Or a lot of people maybe went back for Plains of Power, but what am I doing? I gotta sell that thing. Some weight down. Nope, I don't want to sell that. Yeah. Most people started with the Moon Kitties. Or just before I started, like I said, I started pretty much day one. And not like it came out in what, March or something like that. And I think I started, like I said, I started in June of the 99. So I think that is one of the good things about Everquest. There's like, first of all, there's like 100 servers, and they all have like different eras on them. And I think that's a really good thing about it, because you can come in and play whatever era that you want and whatever era you're comfortable in. And for me, it's the old, right before Luckland came out, and the old models. I think the new models were in before that, but I still like the old models. Personally. Oh, that bear pelt has got to go too. Things weighs a ton. That's got to go. I think I'll put the snake fang in there too. Maybe some bone chips. Do I have room for bone chips? Probably not. Did that stop again? Yes, it did. Okay. Bone chips don't weigh very much. These sashes are heavy though. I mean, that's like 5. That's like 5 pounds. I might as well put that in there too, I guess, for now. Okay. I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to turn these sashes in. I don't think I can. Wait. There it is. It's just like Hero's Journey too, right? Like, it's looked like something I wanted to play. It's like you can play all these classes and it looks super fun. But the disconnect that I have with playing with the new models is something I cannot get over. I tried and tried and tried. And I literally picked like the worst combination just for a laugh. And I couldn't get past the new models. I just couldn't do it. It was such a barrier for me. And it wasn't so much the player models, it was actually the creature models, because the sound wasn't quite right for them. So I'm not sure why I'm making hand gestures. I don't have my camera on. But it was off. Even though the gameplay seemed fun. I don't necessarily hate them. There's just a disconnect for me for some reason. They don't fit because of the way the world is, like the graphics of the old world doesn't fit for some reason. I mean, I remember the new race models when they came in. I love them when, like, originally. I never really had that much of a problem with them. But as time went on, it was like, I don't know, I miss the old models, right? So. But yes, a lot of people really dislike them. I'm stuck again. Come on. Try not to get, there we go. Try not to get stuck in the corner there. Yeah, it is strange to see them. Yeah. What the hell's going on with my weapon? What happened to my weapon? What the hell? I'm gonna screenshot this actually. Hopefully it doesn't screw up the stream. It probably will. That's weird. Is that? Let me see. Okay. That's That's so weird. Did I like steal the... That's a glitch. Incoming crash. Like, what the hell is that? What? I don't even think I've ever seen a model like that before. Has anybody else seen this? I don't know. I mean, I can see it on my stream too, so I guess it's there. But what model is that? It's definitely still the torch. Huh. Weird. I don't want a zone. I want to keep it. I guess I can go find the paladin and see what he cons to me out there. It might be worth it. Well, it's probably not worth it, obviously, but for the sake of the character and the trying to get the faction up and everything, it might be worth it to actually kind of just do that bar quest a couple of times, just to see if it actually bumps up the reputation for the paladin. I can turn in those rib bones. It's back. Damn. Oh well. But that was weird though, like that it altered the graphic of the torch. Weird. I don't even know what the hell that's from. It's like it's not. It must be a model in the zone somewhere, and it just glitched because I got stuck in the pool. Okay, let's see here. I'm not sure if... I'm debating now. I think I might go back to the Warrens. Maybe. I gotta watch out for that mage. Oh. You're Edwin. Oh, that's the Soulfire guy, right? Oh, he's apprehensive. Okay. That's the corrupt. Is that the corrupt Freeport guard? I think it is. I might give it another oh, wait. There's nobody. Oh, a bunch of monks. Okay. No, still nobody around to find. I might actually have to download WinEQ as well, since I do plan on streaming the foreseeable future anyways. And I've had like 2 crashes now. So, and I've crashed a ton off, and it's probably because it's in windowed mode, and I've heard WinEQ solves all those problems. So I might have to do that. Kind of obnoxious when it got Bandit. What is he doing way over here? Oh. I don't remember a bandit pathing all the way over here. All right. Seems like I got most of my experience back already. Give me that. Nah. I probably can sell it, but if I stack them up enough, I can sell them to a vendor. Pretty decent. I think they're like a gold or something a piece. But the funny thing is, I don't remember weight ever being this much of a problem when I started playing my Ranger. And I don't think I put any points into strength either. But I think I had a few more bits of gear on the Ranger starting off. Like, I think I had a Hero Bracer. I also had the Green Jade Broadsword, which is another +8 strength. So that's like 18 strength. I think I did. I think I had the Green Jade Broadsword. No, I think I bought it. That was the first thing I bought. I was using the Wraithbone Hammer. That's what I was using. And then I bought the Green Jade Broadsword. I have to stick to wisps for another. I really don't want to do that. Okay. I probably wouldn't find a group in the Warrens. Oh, son of a... Well. Yeah, it's really obnoxious. Well. 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 I guess it's back to... that's crappy. That is crappy. If I was able to get across to East Carana, that might be all right. I need to get a bind in Enos, though, before I venture past West Carana. Because there's not a chance that I want to do that run again. Not that it was that bad. Actually, it was timed pretty good. Boat was there pretty quickly, but it's still a pain. And what I'll do while I'm waiting, I'm going to pull up the tier list and I'm going to do that. Hopefully the tier list actually works. Because it's kind of weird. No, he's not the one I want to kill. It's Trintle, right? I think Trintle gives the... Oh. There's Chintle. Wait, which one is it? I think it's Trintle, right? He's the bad one. But he might actually still give faction hit to the Knights of Truth. Yeah, I think while I wait for a bind, I'll see if I can actually pull that up. And see if it works. It said there's one that I could do like live as well, but I didn't want to get into that. It's kind of annoying that those treants are there now. Really limits where I can go. Well, I mean, I can run through the zone. I'm sure it'd be fine, but I don't really want to risk it. Just to run through to die and have to start all the way over in Erudin again. I mean, essentially an erudite Shadowknight is essentially like starting a Ixar Shadowknight. Khazad-Cthulhu is really hated by a lot of cities. And maybe the fact that I'm an erudite too gives me a little bit of a bump, but... So it kind of allows me to be dubious. I might be a little bit more welcome in Freeport, though. I wouldn't have to really worry about these wandering mobs that just want to strangle me, like the treants or the paladin. Yeah, it's definitely a hard mode. That's why I picked it, though. Like, that's why I wanted to do it this, because I wanted it to be hard. That's why I said, like, when I bought the the Smoldering Brand, I was like, this kind of feels like I'm cheating a little bit. But I was like, I legit bought it, so there's no... Same with the shield and that, right? Oh, gotta target him first. And that was something that I'd said originally anyways. I didn't want to do solo self-found just because it's impossible. And then, of course, the other day when I was playing offline, a 45 or 48 druid came running through. That was solo self-found, or self-found, the self-found guild. Yeah, troll warriors. It depends. It depends on what deity you pick. I think you can go agnostic with the troll warrior. It's still hard. It is hard mode. And that was one of the class race combinations that before they put the treants in West Corana, I was actually able to boost my faction with the guards. Not that it really did anything, but I thought I'd actually be able to bank until I walked in and the wizard was like, nope, you're dead, and just nuked me. So I was like, oh, it doesn't really work. And there's no way to really raise your reputation with the wizards. But I wanted it to be as hard as I thought it could be. And even though a troll is hard because you can really only bank in your own area. Well, I suppose a troll Shadowknight can bank in Nariak, so you do have that. I think you can anyway. I thought in Erudite, just with the night blindness and everything else, I didn't think I would be this KOS though to like all the factions. I thought I'd at least be dubious and I'd be able to at least level in certain areas and maybe find other areas. Like I actually like the Warrens. The Warrens is actually a really neat dungeon, but nobody's there. It's kind of hard to level in it. Yeah, you have regen too. That's a big bonus. Oh yeah, I wanted to go see if there's anybody behind me here. Nobody yet. Night blindness is awful. Awful. Just you have to like boost your gamma on your NVIDIA control panel just to be able to see. And that's with like having a light source. Let's see. I can get a bind here. Yeah, and they did an update. I think it was last year, where they changed the lighting, and that it supposedly made it more dynamic, I guess, but it just made everything really dark. Let me guess, nobody here. Nope. Extra hard mode. Oh, there he is. Okay, let's see. Where is he at? He's still threatening. Well, that's boop. I'm pretty sure he's... Armor isn't really so bad. Must have changed. I don't think they did the... I think on Quarm, I don't think they did the lighting update that B99 did. I don't think. I'm not sure, though. They might have. But I know it was just... I think it was like last year sometime. I think it might have been the December... There was a December update, I think. Or maybe January. Maybe it was a January update. I can't remember. All right. It is Knights of Thunder. Bone chips. Note that you can do bone chips at Dubious. Okay. Well, he still hates my guts, so... I mean, do I go back? That's such a long boat ride. I guess I can do it on the boat ride. I'll do the tier list. Let me see. I just want to try it. I know he's probably going to run and attack me. At least he's only green. Hey. Nope, nothing happened. Okay. What about the bone chips? Will the bone chips work? No, they don't work either. Okay. I mean, I could always take the quick and easy port, and that's dying and then putting all my stuff in the bank, but I don't have enough room in my bank. All right. Let's get this tier list ready here. Hopefully it actually works. I know the updates, at least a couple of updates that they've done on P99 have been extremely unpopular. I think it was the Sherlock pack. Sherlock? The backpack that the orcs dropped there. I know when that change went in, I know that's when the servers died. Like, they were like, busy time was like 1200, and then as soon as that update came out, they all died. Like, or at least green died. It was noticeable. It was bad. I think it was that update where I think they moved the backpack or something, or they raised the level of the... Nope. The wrong way again, didn't I? Yes, I did. So when that update went in, the servers at that time, and it was at the exact same time. Oops. It was the exact same time too that I noticed the drop in players. And I think a lot of it actually had to do with the fact that it's hard to update. Like, it doesn't automatically update. You have to go to the website. Why was it so controversial? I don't know. Like, I didn't particularly care myself, but it was a camp that was a constant source of income for people, I guess. I don't know. I really don't know. I didn't understand. But I think more so what it had to do with was the fact that when that update went in, it had been quite a while since they had done an update, and I think the server was like kind of ticking and going along, and then it wasn't really clear. You know, you had to go on to the wiki, go onto the website, download the update and stuff like that. It would just come up and say your game doesn't work. And I think that more played with it than the fact that it was the backpacks. I think people did get upset about it. There was a little bit of chatter I saw in EC when I logged in the first time. But I think that had more to do with it. I think it had more to do with the fact that there was an update, and people that, you know, when I don't know how easy it is to install now. I haven't installed it in forever, But I know the first time that there was an update, I was completely lost. And I just went to the internet and found it. And I was like, oh, okay. But I don't think other people realized that, or really knew, or maybe cared to update it, or couldn't quite figure out what the hell was going on. Because even when if you Google it and say like, hey, why isn't my game working? It doesn't say you have to update a patch. It says, well, you could have a graphics issue, you could have this issue, you could have that issue, download WinEQ and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, the actual install of the game, it's convoluted, to say the least. I think I found a video on YouTube that had a link to another website that had a link to where the CD files are that you had to download and then like unpack, and like it was not fun. But those people already had done that, and then I think when the patch came out, there was no clear mention of, you know, this is what you have to do. Like, they should find a way just for, I mean, there's been new players coming on all the time, but what they should do is when it does that, it should come up in the warning box, in the warning text somehow, that says go to X to download X to do the update. Right? I think it did lose some players because of that update. I think there was some other stuff in that update too. I can't remember, but that was the thing that I remember from it. And then I think the new update, and I think there was they just did another update not that long ago, right after the double XP weekend, and I saw another drop there. It wasn't as big, but there was still a little bit of a drop there as well. Okay. I'm not going here. I kind of stopped here for a second. See. I mean, I think now you can go on their Discord. Maybe you were always able to go on the Discord and download the update. So, so it's this way, right? No, yeah, no, not that way. This way. This way. Yeah, and like I said too, like when that first update came, I was completely lost, and I was like, "What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong?" And it was, you know, trying to Google it. It was like this problem and that problem, and I was trying that, and then finally I just went to the wiki and found that I needed to do the update. And sometimes with some people, they won't go that extra step, right? Like it's if you make things too difficult, people will just be like, "I'm just opting out." Not that it's that difficult, but you don't want to put in like you don't want to have something like that where it's just even a little bit hard. Wait, where the hell am I again? Here. Right, okay. Yeah, okay, this is the way back to the right? This is the way back to the docks. Isn't it? Wait a minute. Damn it. Okay, this is the way back to the docks. And then it should turn into another room. Okay, there we go. And this way, and then this way. Oh. You're the lovish. Oh, hey, thanks for subscribing. I missed the name. Sorry, the alerts aren't set up that great yet. I'm lucky I actually got it to work. But thank you. Wait, where the hell am I at now? No, okay, I'm there. Back this way and go down. There we go. I'll figure all that stuff out eventually. That's a big shark. So that's where the guard is, and then the boat should be over here, right? Okay. Let's try it this way then. No, I don't need to. I can just go this way. Right down. There we go. How many times have I drowned in this tunnel when I was on dial-up playing original Everquest? Okay. I wonder if that tackle box is for him. Where's that wizard at? He doesn't like me. Karina. Oh, there she is. There she is. He will just nuke me from orbit. The only way to be safe. Wait, only way to be sure. That's what it is. And then there's also a druid guy that walks down the plank too, which is really annoying. I'm so gonna die. Well, at least I'll be right at the docks. Did she leave? Did she leave? Run. Run, 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 run. They're like right to the edge. I don't really want to ruin my reputation with the druids either, even though it's already bad. I don't want it to get worse. Oh, she's coming back. Coming back. Gonna have this ridiculous aggro range. No, 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 no. I'm gonna end up just like our fish friend right here. Alright, let's see if I can actually get this to work. It's not there. Here. Gotta keep an eye out for this druid. Wait, who's that? Okay, he doesn't care about me. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Boat. Oh my god, that was... Wow. Wait. That was, really lucky. Not nuking me today. And it's not really like, especially with P99. It's not that it's difficult to update it, right? 'Cause you just download the file. The problem is you need to know that you need to download the update, right? Now, most people that have been playing for a while will know, oh, there's got to be an update or something like that. Go to the website, you know. Download the file, and there we go. Like, I know that now. Took me a couple of times to figure it out. But there's a lot of new players that don't. Like, in my guild, I'm not really active in it anymore, I guess, but there was a lot of new players, and they were just like, wait, what's the wiki? And it's like, well, how the hell did you download this in the first place? Right? Are the cats going to attack me on Cat Island? They might. I haven't killed any yet, though, so technically they're not supposed to. Okay. Go. And I think this one. This one. Nope, not that one. This one. This one. There's the tier list. Okay. Hopefully this works. It's not the best, but the best that I could do. So what I wanted to do was actually make a tier list of classes that are the best when a new server comes up. Guess who's at the bottom? So, I mean, obvious, like there's a couple obvious ones, I think. I gotta see if this actually works. I gotta watch out too. One sec. Make sure I don't get destroyed by some cat person. Wait, I don't need to get off the boat, right? This goes right to... Yeah. I don't need to get off. So obviously, the number one thing would be the easiest one to pick is Druid. Definitely goes like right there. Right, definitely S tier for a Druid when you're starting off. They're the easiest to level. They hardly need any gear. The only thing they need is mana, and when you get high enough level, you can solo all kinds of stuff. And as you collect gear, they're very easy to play. I think that's probably the only real obvious choice as far as I'm concerned. Shaman can be close. Druid can, or Bard can also be close. But I think Druid is our S tier for sure when you're starting off. I wish I could have put like a name on this or whatever just to have it, but I don't know. Couldn't quite get it to work exactly the way that I wanted to. Okay, there's Cat Island. Hang on. Anybody gonna kill me here? Is that the cat? Oh, they're indifferent. Okay, good. Good. So I don't have to worry about these guys. Right? I wonder if this is a good spot to level. I've heard that it is. Maybe we just take the boat ride all the way around and come back again. Okay. I'm going to go back to this for a second. So Druid, easy S tier. Starting off. Soloing. You can heal. You can DPS. You got great buffs. The next one depends on... So I'm going to go with the Bard. I'm just going to go in order down the thing here. See where I'm going to put them at. The next one is the Bard. Now, I know on P99 right now, I think I know for sure the Stellos is available in Freeport. Hang on one sec. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. So now if Cellos is available at the vendors, like it is right now, because I remember, now this is just when if a brand new server starts. Again, I wish I could actually put it up there and have it say, you know, new server, class list for soloing, or maybe even just grouping too. If Cellos is available from the vendor at the very beginning of that server, because I remember you used to have to go to High Pass to get Cellos. Originally, it wasn't available anywhere else. And that was one of the big barriers to entry for bards. So I'm going to go on the assumption that it's going to be identical to P99 the way that it is right now. They go into... They're not... I think they go A. I think they go A tier. They're very close to Druids. That might be... They're probably the same as Druids. I'm going to put them in the S tier. Because thinking about it, they have movement speed buff. Again, this is provided that it's available at your local guild, like at the start of a server. Is this boat floating? No. Okay. Provided that it's available early on, you can get Cellos right away once you turn level 5. Right? 5. They're definitely right on par with the Druids. Actually, now that I think about it, if Cellos is not available... Oh, I gotta get that stupid little shuttle, don't I? Hold on. Wait. What side of the boat is it coming on? Oh, there it is. Found it. West. Okay. Just for next time. Yay. All right. Yeah, so Druids, Bards, they're pretty much either one of them when you start off. They're fantastic. Let me see. Clerics. Right? Clerics are necessary. And if you're into a high population server, for grouping, for soloing, they're definitely like below D tier. Especially early on. Once you get gear and all that stuff, they're fantastic. They're probably... They're necessary, but you have druids and shamans that can also heal. So they would probably be... I'm gonna go with B. They're kind of in the middle. Simply because druids and shamans can also heal as well, so they're not necessarily a requirement. They do get better as the people level up and stuff like that. They might go up to A tier if it's a very high population server and there's a lot of players and there's a lot of grouping and stuff like that. They definitely go up. But right now I think they're solid. They're a solid B as is. All right, we'll get off the boat here so I can actually focus on this. Okay. That person's gonna miss the boat for waiting. Must have went AFK. Okay. And most of this is just based on my experience playing P99. It's not necessarily my experience from Classic or anything like that. Okay, next is... This is the mage, right? I always get the mage and the wizard confused. This is mage. Mage is A tier. Are they A tier? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I'm going to go on the assumption that it's the same setup as P99 right now. So that they're available. All the stuff that's available where it's available, it's you can get it. Because I think in original Classic, I think the Dark Elves didn't start with the pets at the vendor. I can't remember though. But anyways, we'll just go as it is right now. Mages are A tier for sure. They're decent DPS. They're great at soloing once you get to level 4. Yeah, they're not that great in a group. But I think just the ability to solo and their ability to actually farm gear as they level up, they can actually drop gear down to, it's like, so for example, if you start off with a mage and you're able to get it at a high enough level, you don't really need a group for it, right? You can solo and everything else. Then once you get to a certain point, you can actually start farming gear for a lower level character that you can start up. So you can start off cleric and then actually have some gear to pass down to them, right? Then you can actually put your cleric up, and then the cleric actually becomes a higher tier, obviously. Because clerics are very much required for P99 or for Everquest in general, just because of the resurrection. Nobody wants to be 50 plus and die and not be able to get a resurrection, right? So they're very much a requirement. So that puts mages in the A tier just because of their ability to solo and farm. Now, Enchanter. The Enchanter. I love the Enchanter too, by the way. Actually, starting just for clarity's sake, I will say, or just for your benefit, I suppose, my favorite class is the Bard. I think the Bard is hands down the best class in EverQuest. Not just because of its ability to solo and do all the crazy stuff Bards can do. They just feel like the most well-rounded class out there. Druids are pretty close. I think Enchanters are also up there. But I think Enchanters suffer the same problem as Clerics do. I think Enchanters, they're not super reliant on gear, but to be able to I don't know. Without Breeze early on too, because Breeze wouldn't be available until Hunarch unlocked, right? So early on, Enchanters are not as good without Breeze. But they do have the ability to charm and kill stuff, and being a Dark Elf is pretty much a requirement without the ring available early on in a server, or just starting off fresh. You still wouldn't be able to afford a ring anyway, because they're like 5k right now, and probably even higher when they first comes out. I would have to put, and I like the Enchanter too, it's gotta go B. Just because of the reliance. I mean, you can be a Dark Elf and be an Enchanter and have you have your hide and stuff, and that helps. But that line of play is really only available once you have gear and you have the mana to do it. I don't think the charm, chain killing with no gear, even a very little amount of gear, it doesn't allow that type of play pattern to be functional, really. You can still do it, yeah, obviously, but for terms of efficiency, mind you, much like the Cleric, once you hit a certain threshold, certain level, then you become more of a requirement. Like you become higher, you go higher up in the tier list for sure, right? But we're talking level 1 starting off. They're not quite as good as the Mage, so it can't go into A, and they can't go into S either. mind you, at the other end of the spectrum, when you're talking about like at the max level, the tier list definitely changes, right? There's no doubt about it that the tier list changes. Okay. Next we have the monk. Maybe I'll finish off the casters first. What we got? We got necromancer, shaman, wizard, right? Yeah. All right, we'll do the rest of we'll do the casters. I didn't know I could do this. That's pretty cool. Okay. So necromancer goes, it's essentially the same as the mage, I think. Just because of the same thing again, very little requirement for gear or anything like that. You get a strong pet, maybe arguably the strongest pet without the focus items for the mage. They push S tier, I think, just in terms of the solo, but they don't really perform well in a group. The druid and the bard perform really well in a group, as well as being good in solo. 1 second.
You can fly, but you'll never get closer to the sun. You may rise at the price of everyone else falling down, but I'm not going down with you. So you may rise, but you'll never make me wanna stick around you.
Okay. Sorry, just hold on 1 second.
Won't let you fire me, won't let you drag me down. I won't even let the power that you own burn down the city.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, necromancers, they're basically right in line with they're probably like A plus. They're probably a little bit better than mages early on, just because of the abilities that they have. Like they can fear kite with their pet, stuff like that. They can take on a little bit harder mobs and stuff. I'm not sure if they're quite as good at they're good at farming. I think they're good at farming. I don't know if they're quite as good as the mages at farming. The mage, yeah, I think the necromancer, because of you need the focus items. I think it makes, you don't need them obviously, but I think it makes the necromancer up right next to the mage. All right, so now we'll go to my second favorite class. Shaman. The shaman is also gear dependent. Yeah, the shaman's also very gear dependent. So starting off, I think they're gonna go with whoop. Can I lock this? I can lock this. Okay. So starting off, the shaman, I think shaman's got to go A. They're a bit better than the cleric because they can solo. Let's see if I can help this person out here. There you go. Use that. There we go. Paid it forward a little bit. Okay. Shamans. Sorry, one sec. Oh, I'm gonna go level in the. Okay. Yeah, shaman. They can solo much better than the cleric does. Can. So it's got to go above this. There again. I should have probably had like a couple of more tiers in there, like maybe like a B plus. Shaman fits into the B plus. Can I actually do that? Oh, wait. I don't want. Nope, not what I want. Okay. Yeah, so they're basically like B plus tier A. They're like kind of on the same level here. They also are good in a group as opposed to these two not being quite as good in a group, like a mage and a necromancer. Necromancer are a little bit better in a group. But shamans are definitely, they can group well. People love shamans in their group. All the buffs and everything. Now, wizard. Boop. Right at the bottom. Wizards are absolutely, with no gear starting off level 1 and you have no gear. Horrible to level a wizard. Now, again, it's the inverse when you get to high level with gear and stuff. The inverse. Wizards are very powerful. Very much in demand. I'm of the mind that wizards should have had their teleports way earlier than the druids, where they can teleport people around. Just because they literally have nothing until they gain teleports. They have DPS, they're great, but trying to solo with a wizard, I've tried soloing with a wizard. That was my other option for like hard mode. It was okay. It's hard mode. Like wizard is hard mode with no gear. Absolutely hard mode. Yeah, like I said, that was going to be another option for this sort of zero to hero thing, was the wizard. But I played a wizard even with gear and I absolutely hated it. And I know people love it and I know people like that playstyle and everything else. But wizard is one of the only classes in this game that actually requires J-boots to actually function as a real class. Now you can go around begging for Spirit of the Wolf and whatever, but I would never start a wizard on a new server or as a new class. Not in any chance in the world would I ever start a wizard. Okay, so we got through the casters. I don't know if anybody would necessarily disagree with some of these. They probably would, but that's all right. Then we're going to do the melee classes, right? We got... So we got Paladin, Shadowknight. We got the melee, and then we have the hybrid. So we'll do hybrid last. Monk. Starting off, they don't need any gear, which is great. They can get a couple cracked staffs. As we know, cracked staff is one of the best early game weapons. They do have the weight restriction and stuff like that, but they don't need gear whatsoever. And Ixar wouldn't be available on a new server, but let's assume that they are anyways. So they're even better as an Ixar monk. In terms of just straight tank class, they are A tier. Compared to the warrior and the other two hybrids. You know what though? Monks are A. Yeah. Because warriors would be B tier, I think. Let's do warrior next. So monks, because they don't require any gear, are A tier tanks. They can solo. They don't need basically any gear until like quite a bit higher in level. Any armor, anything like that, they can't really wear a ton anyways. You have to wait until you can get some really lightweight stuff. They're one of the best pullers in the game, obviously, because of Feign Death. there was three options when I actually started, when I wanted to do the stream. One was to do a monk because I haven't played a monk to any significant level. 2 was a wizard, and 3 was a Shadowknight. And I chose the Shadowknight just because I liked the Shadowknight class. And monks are not great at soloing. I probably would have been good. I shouldn't say that. I literally just said that monks are good at soloing. I didn't think, to be quite honest, because most people like Shadow Knights, right? They're the easiest class to pick to say this is a good class to like watch. There's a lot of different things. You get spells. You have certain goals in mind. It's not just like one ability or like a kick, right? So that was kind of why I chose the Shadow Knight. A little more flashy. But monk, A tier for sure. If I were to do a tank, it's obviously S tier, but we're just doing classes, all classes, just in general. Now warrior is D, and that's simply because, now again, we're just going straight across the board. We'll assume that nobody's playing a troll or a Ixar with these. Same with the monk. We can just say it's human. It still goes in A tier. Doesn't go to S tier even with an Ixar monk. It's still A tier. It might go down to like A- with a human monk, but they're still great. But warriors with no gear and no regen. So if you're not playing a troll warrior, I would never, ever, ever start as a warrior, even though they are one of the most required classes. Sorry. Just talking to this person. Okay. With no gear, no regen, unless you're a troll. If you're a troll, you probably go to like maybe low C tier for sure. Just because of the regen. But you're doing a lot of sitting and waiting with a warrior. And bind wound is pretty good, but it's not. No, they're so dependent on their weapons in that. And early on, if you don't have weapons, I would not recommend starting a warrior. And the rogue is the same. The rogue probably goes to C, just because if you can get something, they will out DPS a warrior, right? At the same level. Mind you, this isn't, again, it's obviously going to be a different tier list when I'm talking about endgame, or if I were to have to do one for the endgame. But I'm talking about level 1 starting off. Who should people start with? What class should they start with? And a rogue is an option. It's not the best option, that's why it's in C, but it's not as bad as a wizard or a warrior. Obviously people can make an argument for the wizard, or same with the warrior, sure. But a rogue can out damage a warrior given even mediocre weapons. And once they get dual wield and stuff like that, they can out DPS a warrior. A warrior is still more in demand, but starting off, warriors are so utterly dependent on their gear that I would never start off with one. Let's just put it that way. Okay, now we got the hybrids. The rogue also can move around a little bit too, so it gives, and rogues have a little bit more utility in. They don't have more utility in a group than a warrior. Warrior is pretty much in a group scenario. If I was just to say this is a group tier list, warrior goes up for sure. But we're just as is level 1 starting off. Ranger. We got Ranger, Paladin, and Shadow Knight. Ranger. Ranger is very gear dependent. All three of these classes are gear dependent. So, because they get spells at level 9, not great spells, I think the Rangers, for me, are see, are they good as clerics? Like, or an enchanter? Probably not, right? Um, but they are a little bit better at. They can make decent tanks too. This is a little bit biased, probably. Rangers got to be B. They have to be B tier, I think, and I think a lot of people would put them at D tier, because they are so gear reliant, probably more than any other class. But like the rogue, once you get even some mediocre weapons, and the ability to heal yourself and cast some spells and dots and pulling and flame lick is a great way to pull early on, especially in crush bone and stuff like that. They are very good early on once they hit a certain threshold. Now, mind you, this is before level 10. Warrior still doesn't, I don't even think Warrior has dual wield before level 10. So, whereas monks, on the other hand, they do. So they can definitely dish out some damage. The rogues will obviously out DPS the ranger, but the ranger, again, starting off, once you get some spells, much like the other two hybrid classes, once you get some spells, they start improving. But then as you get higher, they start decreasing again, right? But again, just starting off, I think ranger is middle of the road to start off. I don't think it's the worst choice, but it's also not the best choice to start off with. Okay, now we got two left, Shadowknight and the Paladin. Paladins early on are good tanks. They're probably, I'm actually looking at Monk now and actually consider moving the Monk to S tier. But I don't think they're, well, I mean, their mend ability is pretty good, right? Because I'm seriously considering putting Paladin in the A tier. I can easily just put all three hybrids in B tier, very easily, but I don't want to do that. I don't think it's accurate. Paladin would be more in the like B plus tier, right? We're gonna put Paladin in the A tier. Again, simply because of heals and the ability to solo a little bit. Like, I have a Shadow Knight that I started with nothing. I was using a cracked staff, and I was able to solo. Maybe not the best, maybe not the most efficient, but I was able to solo. Now, somebody did give me a shield. So I was able to get something to actually, use with bash and stuff like that. So, but once again, like the ranger, once the paladin gets the ability to heal himself, herself, whatever, they bump up past the ranger because they can tank better than the ranger can. They can take more of a better hit than the ranger. So they have more utility in a group. They're not quite as good as a monk, but I don't think a monk is quite as good as a druid or a bard. But because I didn't actually put in like, A minus, B plus tier, they're just going to have to go in the A tier because I think they're better than the ranger. And I actually think they're better than a cleric early on, obviously. And they can fill both roles in a group if necessary. And last but not least is the Shadow Knight. Again, not as gear dependent as the rogue. I mean, they probably got to go the same as the ranger, honestly. They'd be like C plus though, right? They would not be. They wouldn't be. They might even be C. They might be on par with the rogue because their pet's horrible until like 50s, I think. The 49 pet. Maybe even the 39 pet's probably okay. You can't solo in a dungeon with a pet because it'll just pull everything. You're pretty good at tanking. You're not as good as tanking as the ranger is early on. I think the Ranger's a little bit better because the Ranger can also heal him or herself. So Shadow Knight's got to go. I think the Shadow Knight is like D+ tier. It's probably a hair better than the Rogue. But it's not quite as good as any of the other classes that are above it. Obviously, these will fluctuate based on level, based on gear, all kinds of other things. But this is basically starting off at level 1. If you wanted an option or wanted to know where I think you would start a brand new character, it's one of these 7, I guess. And if you want a little bit of utility, soloing, tracking is also highly underrated. I forgot to mention tracking when I talked about the Ranger as well. Tracking is highly underrated because when you're soloing, the ability to find the closest blue is just ridiculous. It's absolutely insane to be able to go blue to blue to blue to blue. Whereas, as you saw with the streams of the Shadow Knight, I'm like, okay, is that blue? No, I got to find it. Okay, now I got to find a blue. With tracking and the ability to use it and to level and solo, it's unparalleled in its power. So tracking actually is something that I actually forgot about for soloing. But it is a great tool. So yeah, that's the tier list. If you're watching this later, let me know what you think in the comments. And I'm actually going to end the stream now. So thanks for watching, everybody. And I will see you next time. Bye.